Okay, we have another episode of KK Talks, and today we have a very special guest. She is a motivational speaker, language teacher in Japan. Please welcome Karyll Jane Diez, or everybody call her Miss KJ. So, welcome Miss KJ and KK Talks.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here.
Of course, thank you for accepting my invitation. So, how are you today, ma'am?
I'm actually doing good and fine. And yes, you're correct. I've been working
In Japan,
in
right?
Japan
Yes,
for
language
8 years.
teachers. Mhm.
But I choose to focus right now to be a speaker, or we call it affirmator in our church.
Oh, affirmator, speaking in front of many people, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for you, ma'am, as you said, you're a language teacher in Japan, a communicator, or a motivational speaker, talking in front of many people. For you, what are your thoughts about communication, or what are your insight about it?
Okay. For how many years I've been delivering speeches in different places and different events. Some of my audience, if I will ask them, for you, what is communication? And simply they will say that it's having a conversation. Yes, that's correct.
Each other.
Yes, that's correct. But deeply to that, we simply thought that it's just an effortless process. It is just simple. But we didn't know that, and we didn't notice that we encounter barriers and noises when we communicate. And I can really testify that what my professor said way back in our
College?
yes, when I was college, my major
Subject,
yes,
teacher,
my
yes.
major, my major teacher that time said that communication can build or destroy relationship.
Mhm.
And I can testify that it's
So you
true.
have
Depending on how it
experience.
is used. Yeah, this is my experience.
Can you
Because
please share that experience to my KK fans? Or is
okay,
it okay?
of course.
Oh, yes.
As I reflect and go back to that situation, if I remember it correctly, I experienced the psychological noise.
Mhm. What psychological noise means?
Psychological noise, from the word psychological, it means the mind of the person.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so at that situation, I am communicating with my mom.
Mhm.
She's updating me. We're having a conversation via messenger. She's updating me that she's palpitating, and it's not usual because she is very happy.
That time.
Yes, and that time I am worried. I am preoccupied to the extent that I didn't notice that someone was actually trying to have a conversation with me. And honestly, that person didn't call me attention because I am preoccupied at that time. So that's one of the noises of the communication. And I can reflect that even though communication for us would be very simple because we use it in everyday life, still the barriers and the noises will be there. We just have to be knowledgeable about it, and then we have to know how to deal with it.
Okay, so that's correct, no? Yeah. So we all know that communication is the universal basis of understanding our environment. So imagine, Miss Karyll, if we couldn't talk to each other, life would be so lonely, life would be so boring and confusing, right? So as Miss Karyll said about being or mom said about communication is vital, or communication is we use it in our everyday life. And as I reflect at myself, for me, Miss Karyll, communication is like a glue that hold us together.
Yes, it's like glue sticking us
Oh,
together
yes.
so that we will be understanding each other.
Mhm.
And for us to not in chaos, everything will be run smoothly
Mhm.
because that's what our goal, and that's the goal actually of the communication, to understand others and to be understood by
And
them.
to connect
Yes.
to everybody. Am I correct?
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Okay, but do you know that communication was actually in line with the listening skills?
Oh,
Because we have actually a 4 metric skills. Oh my god.
Oh, yes. Can
I
you please
actually applied some of my major subjects.
Okay, macro skills, right?
Alright.
Can you please elaborate or explain to my KK fans or KK viewers what are those macro skills?
Okay, the 4 macro skills are listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
Oh, yeah.
And among them, listening was disregarded because for them it's very easy.
Mhm.
And for them it's just not too useful than other macro skills
Mhm.
because we um hear everything unconsciously.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That is why they had a this misinformation about listening that I really want to clarify there, KK viewers,
Yes.
that as I realized that the listening skills actually will be the root of the understanding.
Misunderstanding, right?
No, the
Oh,
understanding.
understanding.
Actually.
Oh, yes. I'm
Is
so
it
sorry.
because it is a route for understanding.
Mhm.
It begins with the listening skills.
Oh,
Because right now, for example, I am a language teacher here in
Yeah.
front of you, and I am stating facts, I am
Mhm.
sharing contents,
Information.
different informations,
Yeah.
and what you will be gathered, right? What would be you'll get from me.
We get you from you the information.
Yeah, the knowledge,
Mhm.
what this particular topic really mean and such, and that was done by listening.
Okay.
So that is why, as also a communicator, a speaker, and a teacher,
Mhm.
for me, listening is a two-way process. Because as a public speaker, a teacher, I always encourage my audience and my students to communicate with me fully, openly, and honestly. Because that's the function or the goal of listening. And as a speaker, we have to be open so that we can
Communicate well.
yes, and of course, I can answer their queries and
Mhm.
feed their curiosities.
Mhm.
And also, at the same time, it is a two-way process because I will listen to them and they will listen to me. And what I did when I'm delivering speeches is that first I will give them tips.
Okay. What are, can you please give us tips?
Okay, so there are a lot of tips actually, but as I summarize those experiences of mine, that what actually really works is that um, there are six effective key to be an effective listener.
Mhm.
So first, we have to pay attention. Next, we have to uphold judgment.
Mhm.
Next, we have to reflect,
Mhm.
then clarify, summarize in a bullet point form, and of course to share. Because gaining knowledge without sharing it to others would be not purposeful.
Mhm. Okay, thank you for that, Miss, no, for that information, for that tips that you've given to me, given to my KK fans, so that guys, we really need to be an effective listener, right? So, Miss KK, I have some ano for you that for the blog, can we please pledge to be an effective listener?
Of course, for you guys, what do you
Okay.
call them? KK
I call my fans KK fans
Hi,
or
KK
KK viewers or
fans.
KK so whatever.
So
So
this is for you.
okay.
And we can do it together actually.
Oh yeah, so please follow me. I will put my right hand like this and follow what I said. Okay, I, Katherine, I'm King Poliquit,
I, Karyll Diez,
pledge to be an effective listener,
pledge to be an effective listener,
to provide thoughtful responses,
to provide thoughtful responses,
to encourage open and meaningful communication.
to encourage open and meaningful communication.
Okay, that's very
right.
perfect. Okay, thank you so much for guesting in my show, Miss Karyll.
Of course, it's an honor for me.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching KK fans, and I'm so blessed that you're still here and supporting me. Thank you so much, guys, and bye.
Bye.